Carl, can you talk a little bit about the consular process?
Sure. So most nurses go through consular processing. That means that they're located in a foreign country and they have an employer in the United States who files a petition on their behalf. We call it a Form I-140. Once the petition gets approved, and if their date is current, which means they're at the beginning, they're at the front of the line for green cards, because in some categories there's a long wait. Fortunately, right now for Filipino nurses, it is current. So that means there is no official waiting time. I mean, there might be considerable waits just because there's a pandemic and the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. embassies, not only in Manila, but all over the world, are only partially open right now. But when they get to the front of the line, their I-140 has been approved. It goes to a place called the National Visa Center, where the nurse has to show different types of paperwork. And then they schedule the nurse for an interview at the U.S. Embassy. That's the consular processing. The U.S. Embassy and consulates. Back in the 80s, I remember, I don't know if they have it anymore, but there was my wife's from Cebu, and they had a consulate in Cebu. And since at that time I was working for the Immigration Service, they invited me in and I got to sit around and chat with them. But they call it consular processing, whether you're going to a U.S. consulate or whether you're going to the embassy in the country. And they give you an interview and they make sure that you're admissible, which means you're not a criminal, you're not a terrorist, you haven't committed immigration fraud. And then, of course, that you have this job that sponsored you to come into the United States. They approve the green card application, and you have 180 days to get on a plane and fly to the United States. And only when you actually arrive in the US and are admitted in the airport are you considered a green card holder.
Okay, so that gives us a really good clarification on the consular green card process. And as Carl said, most international nurses will come through that route. But there is another route that we're going to be talking about, and that is the adjustment of status process. And if anyone didn't miss the show Onward and Upward, I think it was about it was probably about a month ago or 6 months ago, we did a 3-day marathon on the consular green card process. There's also a download on the Connetics USA website that you can get for free. It's free information about the consular the consular green card process, and that is available for all nurses who are coming on the consular green card.